Welcome back to this channel. In today's video, we are going to go over turn steps. Hopefully you're working on this in your rehab, but if not, today we're going to go through a step-by-step progression in how to restore your ability to turn. If you're new to this channel, I'm Tara, I'm a neurologic physical therapist, and on this channel we talk about anything and everything related to mobility, health, fitness, and mindset with the end goal of empowering you with as many tools as possible to take ownership of your rehab and your health and to take your mobility to the next level. And I can't think of a more important skill to learn than being able to turn. But before we dive into that, if you're new to this channel, you might not know this, but we do have a membership program. And as a gold member, you do get access to an entire vault of exercises that I actually use to build home exercise programs for my patients that I see in person. But more importantly, you get access to our monthly webinars and our monthly live Q&As. We talk about motivation, how to stay motivated, how to overcome plateaus, how to overcome discouragement, neuroplasticity, diet, nutrition, how to maintain your fitness, how to maintain the right mindset. All of that is stuff that therapists just don't have time to cover in your one-on-one sessions. So this will absolutely speed up your recovery and help you to really be precise about the things that you are doing outside of therapy. So to learn more about our membership program and to sign up, you can visit rehab-hq.com. But now let's get back to turn steps. So why are turn steps important? It's not just for being able to turn, because a lot of you, you can just keep your feet wide and turn, but it's really for those unexpected turn steps of when you're losing your balance. Maybe someone pushes you on this side and you need to step across, or someone calls your name and wanting to be able to turn quickly to get their attention or to respond to them. All of those things are kind of things that we do automatically that we don't really think about, but they're essential to decreasing our risk of falls and to making us feel more confident when we're up and walking around in the community. So let's break this down into its smallest components to make sure that you have all the tools that you need to make sure you're addressing all the components of a turn step. So first, let's define turn step. Turn step is basically turning towards your involved side. That's what we're going to go over today. Towards a weaker leg, okay? What's involved with that? You need hip internal rotation, okay? So if I'm turning towards this leg, it will be helpful and make it easier and not so stiff or rigid if you can internally rotate that hip. What else does it involve? It involves crossing midline, okay? If you have hemiparesis due to a neurologic injury or a brain injury, crossing midline can make your brains a little bit jumbled sometimes. So you do need to practice that so that your brain knows how to respond when one limb gets crossed over onto the other side of your body. And then the other component that is underutilized is being able to stand and maintain your balance with a narrow base of support with your weight on the outside edge of an involved leg. So kind of over on that pinky toe is very scary for a lot of you. And that is going to be included in today's progression. So we're going to go through the right stretches and strengthening activities to work towards internal rotation, build the ability to cross midline in standing, get on the outside edge of that foot and feel comfortable, and then of course putting it all together and doing an actual turn step. But enough about all that. Let's go ahead and dive into today's exercises. Okay, so as I mentioned, step one is internal rotation. So taking your leg that you want to stretch, putting it up on a step, and pressing that leg towards internal rotation. Very, very important in being able to cross that other leg across midline is being able to rotate that hip internally. And you want to hold that for about a minute. All right, and before we get to standing, very, very critical is that you can keep the hip internally rotating when you load the leg. So we're going to start with a strap in between your legs, something in between your feet to keep your feet a little bit wider. That's kind of working that leg towards internal rotation. And then you're just going to do little sit to stands. Okay, loading that leg with the legs internally rotated. All right, this could be a little bit tighter. You really want to feel like you're getting that internal rotation as you push through. Now, before we get to standing, the other exercise that is absolutely essential is that you can stand with your legs internally rotated, and you can do a forward step, right? Before we even get to full standing, you want to make sure that you can keep your legs internally rotated, and you can step that opposite foot forward. If you can do that, then you want to try and pick this arm up before you're fully standing, okay? This is your involved side. This is your stronger side. So this is your stronger arm. Can you hold that position? That's working a couple things. Remember I talked about getting on the outside edge of that foot? You really are a little bit getting on the outside edge of that foot with your knees and or your legs in this position. So you're just starting to get comfortable with that position, okay? Once you can do that, you're gonna take this step and put it over on the other side and do the same thing. Feet side by side. Now you're getting further over onto the outside edge of that foot, and can you step forward? If you can put both hands up here, I've shown this a lot in other videos. You want to put both hands up there, okay? And then from there, what you're going to try and do is you are going to try and kind of step that foot in front. Some of you might need to start with this, just getting it a little bit in front, okay? If you can do that, then you want to step it all the way in front and see if you can hold that position. If you can hold that position, I want you to do little squats, okay? This is before we get to full standing. Very, very important. Learning how to load this leg, get all of your weight onto that side before we get to standing. Remember, building a strong foundation is just going to set you up for success. So I know a lot of you have seen this progression a million times, but it's always worth reviewing because it is so, so, so critical. Remember, these activities are automatic. We don't think about them, and our end goal is that we're getting back to that point where these activities are automatic. And if you're fearful of these activities or avoid them at all in that split second moment where your brain wants to do that automatic thing, if you haven't built a good foundation, you're going to compensate. Your brain's going to compensate with something that's safer. And for a lot of you, that's white knuckling, grabbing onto an assistive device or grabbing onto a partner or a piece of furniture. You need to lay this foundation and get confident with these. Remember, we're trying to build back to that point where these things are automatic. Okay, so hopefully all that makes sense. And again, sit to stand here or here, not fully standing yet. I mean, squatting, I guess, kind of standing. Okay? And back down. All right, now these twister discs were absolutely a game changer when I bought these for the patients that I see in person. These are pretty expensive, but they are truly frictionless. So I used to have the plastic one that probably a lot of you have because it's a lot cheaper on Amazon. Those ones are not even in the same ballpark as these. These will keep you honest because there is no way if you have a tendency to externally rotate, there's no way of stopping these. Your leg is just going to drift outwards on these. But the goal is to work that internal rotation, that isolated internal rotation in standing. Sometimes I just have people balance on these and try and just keep their knees pointing forward. And what happens sometimes is people will lean towards their stronger side and they'll just start drifting. I mean, these are really hard to keep straight, right? So it really will keep you honest. It'll kind of reveal if you have a tendency to lean towards one side, but also if you don't have good control of that hip, it'll be revealed with these. But if you can, you're going to work on internal rotation to the point where you don't have to hold on. It's very hard. These things, again, they're so frictionless. It's very, very hard to do it. You do have to have your feet perfectly centered in order to get that internal rotation. So even just getting set up right, but then also that isolated rotation. So again, these are the Pilates twister discs. Link for these will be in the description below. All right, but now let's move on to actual standing. Step one is getting comfortable with being on the outside edge of this foot. I love having a wall on your involved side, reaching across and just stepping this foot forward. Okay, so this is your uninvolved leg, this is your involved leg, arm on the wall across midline. Getting comfortable with having your weight on the outside edge of that foot. Once you can do that, step with those feet in a straight line and see if you can bring your hand off the wall without losing your balance. Again, getting comfortable having your weight on the outside edge of this back foot, which is the involved leg. Okay, once you can do that, now cross it all the way over and see if you can bring your hand off of that wall. All right, and maintain your balance. Once you can do that, bring your hand off of that wall and see if you can step your foot back. Super, super duper important. If you are going to cross your legs, you really need to feel comfortable that you can uncross your legs or you're just going to panic. So let's say you lose your balance this way or someone pushes you and you use a stepping strategy, which is a balance reaction or kind of a fall prevention reaction. You do cross midline. You want to feel comfortable and know that you can uncross your feet. So hand on the wall, cross it over, let go of the wall, see if you can step back, okay? Then from there, move a little bit further away from the wall and now see if you can cross that foot over. Again, this isn't just for actually turning, because I know a lot of you are just probably going to do this, right? Which is what a lot of us do. It's for those unexpected events where you just automatically kind of step that foot across to turn, either to prevent yourself from falling or you react to someone calling your name. You want to know that you can get into that position and out of that position. And then now, if you're really a rock star and you want to have a cool party trick to show at your next party, this is one of my new favorite drills to do with patients is get in a corner so that you know you're safe, and with a medicine ball, it's a weighted ball, see if you can roll that ball all the way around. Because it's weighted, it really does require you to use all kinds of stabilizing muscles in this leg. I love a corner. You see, I lost my balance a little bit. The goal is not to look perfect when you do these activities. And actually, if you look perfect, it's probably a waste of time. You want to feel like you're struggling a little bit, so you want to be challenged but still safe. Okay, it is in that struggle that your brain is learning how to coordinate the right muscles at the right time to make sure you don't fall, okay? So you're gonna go clockwise and counterclockwise, okay? Very, very challenging, but I highly encourage you to kind of keep this in your vision as something to progress to. You see, the sky's the limit when it comes to balance. I try and challenge myself regularly with activities that I'm not comfortable with. The reality is, if you're over 40, not to sound too negative, but you are potentially on the opposite side of that mountain. You want to prevent that as much as possible. The opposite side of that mountain doesn't have to be down. It could be that you end up on a plateau. Maybe there's a plateau at the top of that mountain and you just maintain. You want to maintain as long as possible. In order to do that, you have to be challenging your balance on a regular basis. So that's why I always try and include something a little bit more advanced to show you that there is no limit. There's always something else you could be challenging yourself with. But that is it for this video. Don't forget, we do have those membership programs. To learn more about our membership programs and to really shorten the amount of time that it's going to take to get from where you're at to where you want to go, you can check out our list of perks at rehab-hq.com. But I know some of you can't afford that. Something that's absolutely free that will really help this channel, but also help the community at large for these videos to get to more people, is to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. I would really appreciate it. The community would really appreciate it. And those people that need these videos would really appreciate it. But I enjoyed spending time with you all today, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.